Did you know that there was a war between the United States and the British Empire in 1812? Many people are unaware of this often overlooked conflict known as the War of 1812. After the American War of Independence, the 13 colonies established by Britain in America became independent and united to form the United States of America. George Washington became the first president of the United States. Even after gaining independence, America continued its expansion process as it did not want to remain limited to just 13 colonies. America began expanding into the northwestern regions as well. On the other hand, Britain also strengthened its position in the northern part of America, namely Canada. There came a time when a war broke out between Britain and Russia. The British Army invaded Washington, D.C. and burned government buildings, making it seem like the USA could be enslaved again. However, after gaining independence, the USA strengthened its economic position over the next 30 years. America established trade relations with other European countries and also strengthened its military. However, at that time, America was not fully united. America truly unified under the leadership of Abraham Lincoln. After the American Civil War, America rapidly expanded. This expansion raised concerns for Britain regarding the security of Canada. After 1704, Britain took steps to create a separate state for the Native Americans to establish a buffer zone between the USA and Canada. Britain wanted the Native Americans to stay away from the Americans because the Americans' expansionist policies were leading to more land being taken and native lands being occupied. During the chaos caused by Napoleon Bonaparte in Europe, disputes between Britain and America increased. After 1805, Napoleon began encircling Britain and initiated an economic blockade. The ongoing enmity between Britain and France adversely affected America the most because whenever American merchant ships went to Britain, France attacked them, and when ships went to France, the British Royal Navy attacked them. As a result, America felt that Britain was hindering its trade. At that time, the American Merchant Navy was the second largest maritime force in the world, while Britain's Merchant Navy was the largest. Britain needed millions of people for its ships and considered all people in America with British origins as British citizens. There was also a dispute between America and Britain regarding citizenship. British ships frequently intruded into American maritime boundaries. During this period, a clash occurred between an American ship and a British ship, resulting in the deaths of 11 British citizens. This incident increased the British citizens' anger towards America. At that time, Britain was heavily engaged in Europe and did not want a direct war with America. Therefore, it increased its cooperation with the Native Americans. At that time, a Native American Confederation had formed, which, with British support, began a guerrilla war against the Americans. From 1805 to 1810, these Native Americans fought against the American soldiers, causing difficulties in American expansion. When Americans saw that the natives were armed, they quickly realized that the British were supporting them. Some Americans believed that the British were rewarding natives for bringing in American soldiers' scalps. As problems escalated from all sides, American anger against the British intensified. In 1809, James Madison became the fourth president of the United States from the Democratic Republican Party. He was deeply troubled by British actions. Although he had no intention of capturing British Canada, when Britain incited the Native Americans against America and attacked American merchant ships at sea, war became inevitable. On June 18, 1812, the American Congress unanimously declared war against Britain. However, the Federalist Party in America opposed this decision, as they did not want a war with Britain. On May 11th, the British Prime Minister, Spencer Perceval, who was known for his harsh stance against America, was assassinated. Following this, Lord Liverpool came to power and sought peace with America. As soon as news of America's war declaration reached Britain, the country was already embroiled in the war against Napoleon and did not want another conflict with America. Therefore, the British Prime Minister cancelled all previous council orders. However, communication was slow at that time, so it took 3 weeks for this news to reach America. The British commander in Upper Canada received the news sooner and prepared his army for war. Meanwhile, British ships captured the American Fort Mackinac, marking Britain's first victory. This victory was achieved easily because the American commander at the fort was unaware of the war declaration. Britain's Royal Navy was occupied in Portugal fighting against France, and there were about 6,000 soldiers in British Canada. Alongside them were many Native Americans, whose numbers were significant. President Madison believed that his army could easily drive the British out of Canada, but the lack of unity weakened the American forces. Many Americans did not support the war against Britain, leading to internal riots. Several American soldiers refused to fight on Canadian soil. America also hoped that Canadian residents would support them against the British, but Canadians viewed America as imperialists and supported Britain. In July 1812, American attacks intensified and American soldiers besieged Fort Detroit. However, the British and Native Americans defeated them, leading American commander William Hull to surrender with his army. Despite this, the American forces achieved several victories on Lake Erie and maintained control of the area. After Napoleon's defeat in April 1814, British ships began moving towards America. Britain attacked Washington, D.C. and burned the White House and several government buildings. However, driven by patriotism, Americans rallied and, on September 11, 1814, the American Navy defeated the British fleet at the Battle of Lake Champlain in New York. As attacks from both sides became equal, peace talks began in Belgium. On December 24, 1814, both countries signed the Treaty of Ghent. According to the treaty, Britain abandoned its demand to create a new state for the natives, and America gave up its expansionist plans for British Canada. The war ended the bitterness between Britain and America. American blind loyalty towards Britain also diminished. This war increased patriotism among the American people, but it also heightened the prospects of a civil war in America, which we will discuss in another video. This concludes today's video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more historical content.